Hello, everyone. My name is JDCalderon, and this is of Mice and Wool.
Wolves. Ow!
Oh, you're not feeling well. I'm not just.
Yeah. JD's got medicine head.
Yeah, I don't even have medicine yet. I just got the thing in the throat that's starting to come up. I'm like, shh. Anyway, without further ado, let's bring in the guest because we only have one tonight. So, it'll just be us. What's up,
What's
Wes?
up, guys?
Hey, Wes, tell the good people who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
I am Wes Hartman. I am a comic book color artist as well as creator. Currently, I am running a Kickstarter for the final issues in my series Sky Sharks Remastered, issues 1 through 3. We're almost at the 48-hour mark of the last 2 days of the campaign. But in addition to that, I've also created Savage Sasquatch, and back in the day, created Moonstreak and Pirates vs. Ninjas and several other titles back in the day. But I color comics by day and make comics by night.
There you go. Very nice. Very nice. So normally we have a couple other heads with us, but they're not here. But and he shows a workshop show. Rob, please take over. My throat is killing me.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, so the way that this normally works is that each creator, which tonight is just you, presents their issue that they need workshopped, and we go through kind of asking the clarification questions. And then once we kind of get to a feel of what's going on, what you've already tried, then we try and give you what we think might help. Since there is only one guest tonight, for those of you out there watching, we're going to workshop this with Wes, get through his issue, and then we'll probably just shoot the shit and talk comics and see where it goes.
Yep.
Right on.
All right, Wes. So what's your question?
I don't think there's really an easy answer to it, but I'd be interested to hear you guys' take on what you think. Time management is always the struggle between the day job, family, kids, being available to them, writing your own book, coloring my book, lettering my book, social media my book, trying to get the book out onto all the different platforms, building the Kickstarters and the global comics and Kindles and all the different avenues, and the personal website and keeping it updated, just everything that is involved in all aspects. It's just like, it is a lot.
The never-ending struggle of an indie creator.
Right. And there's aspects that I love and enjoy doing, but I don't have time to do it as often as I would like. And then there's the stuff I don't like doing that you have to do, like social media.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I don't know, man. I don't think there's really an answer to it, but I'm always curious to hear what other people do, their approaches, because you never know. Because it's the juggling of it all, and you make the most out of the time you have available and chip away, and it's one of those things where I like to make big progress when I do something. Like if I'm writing, it's like, man, I just want to get the script done like within a week.
Mm-hmm.
But if I don't hit that, if I don't get it written within that allotted time I set, bro, then it drags out for forever. Or like, hey, I'm gonna letter this book. I got 3 days and I can get it lettered. And I'm like, oh man, if I don't hit it in that time, it drags forever. So it's just
a lot of time is gone.
Yeah, it's just like, oh no. Sorry, it's kind of cold in the house. we had a cold front blow in, so I was like, oh, where'd all the cold come from?
Yeah, it snowed here.
Well,
Yeah,
it was
it's
90
cold.
degrees 2 days ago, and now it's like 40.
Yeah, we were at 70, I think.
Yeah, we hit 72. Yeah,
So.
we're 40. We're still in the 40s.
It's coming your way, JD. If I got it, you're getting it.
It's staying in the 40s.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's going up to 50 this weekend. Oof.
Wow, we're old. We're talking about the weather.
Seriously.
Oh yeah.
All right. I mean, this one's obviously pretty straightforward. It's kind of, I think, chip away at the what you've already tried stuff, and then because this is something we talk about often with other creators. Everybody has their own unique situation on how to manage their own time. Like I said, others kind of suggest what they do. But yeah, like you said, this is kind of one of those things. It's like we'll see how it pans out and what can work for you. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Again, it's a unique thing for everybody because we all have different time schedules and different family and work situations. So you've said that you do have like a lot of times that you squeeze in, but then once that time is run out, like is it like the same amount of time that you then switch to another thing, or is it always like kind of squeeze this in when I can? Or
It's a lot of squeeze in when I can. The most like when it came to writing, the most successful probably stretch of time I ever had writing was I woke up before everybody else and I would write for an hour and a half for everybody, and that I got multiple scripts done. Well, at this point, like we're already waking up at 4:30, 5 o'clock, and my youngest is up. I was like, bro, I am not waking up at 3:30 to beat him.
yeah.
Plus at this point he's actually sleeping in my office, so it's like I can't even go work in there when he's asleep. So it's just like, so I had a real good rhythm where before my son was born and my daughter started school, she would wake up like 7:30 or whatever, between like 6:30 and 7:30, and so I wake up at 5, and I'd get anywhere from 1 to like 2.5 hours of just quality, like I'm only writing, and was super productive, and that was great. I didn't, all the social media and everything, still terrible at, but that was really good. But I kind of even lost that time, and now it's even a struggle when I get moments. It's just kind of like even getting the writing done with just like, oh well, yeah, I've got this bit of let me write that down, and then it's just kind of I start chasing squirrels and rabbits in my head, and like, dude, like I just need to be able to sit down and do this, and then you sit down and do it, and then of course everything else comes up, starts to strike. The ADD starts kicking in. It's like, bro, like it's the constant battle. It's like, I think I work better if everybody's asleep, but nobody's ever asleep unless it's the middle of the night. So
Gotcha.
I'm struggling that side, and just the managing it of it all, because there's the learning to do the things I don't know how to do, because I am not a web guy. So like updating my website and getting that stuff done is usually a job, and then it's so intermittent by the time I'm like, oh man, how did I do that last time? It's kind of like relearning what I did just to do the next part. Oh, there goes a day. I was like, oh, okay. And I make comics. We all make comics, right? There's not the extra income to go hire those people to do it for you. Like,
yeah,
you're good at that. You do that. And I've tried to bring in friends, and it's like, oh man, I want to do this and that. Like, it'd be so cool. It's like, well, tell you what, you can come help me. I have these things to do, and I've got like a list. Like, you can help me with these things, and bro, anything that generates income, I'll cut you in on it. Like, I can't pay you, but if you get it done and then start selling something, you can have some. I don't know how much that'll be. Could be nothing, could be 10 cents, but the more you make, the more you earn, right? That hasn't worked out well either.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
I've never like, I think the people who come into it thinking that they're going to find somebody who will like go into it with them and hope that they make money on the back end is very, very few and far between.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
But as far as time management, though, I mean, obviously you got what little time you have. I mean, my suggestion is, I don't know, when is it you have if you could just set aside even just an hour a day just to sit down and write, I don't know how difficult that would be for you. And also the other thing is, how do you write? Do you do it on a computer? Do you break out a pad?
I do a bit of
Uh,
both, to be honest. I had a solid system that I came up with towards the end of kindergarten last year, school year, kindergarten. And when
mhm.
I'd sit in car line, I brought in a like pad and pen, and I would just write in there. And it's like that was really nice and just kind of like, yeah, that was invigorating. And then this year we're at a different campus and it's like 0.6 miles. So I'm like, I'm not gonna sit in the car, we just walk it. So I was like,
Mhm.
oh, that kind of took away that little blurb of time, which is unfortunate, but it's better for the health.
Fair.
And
Right.
and yeah, I'll write on the computer. I'll write on just this, like I have little notebooks that I'll carry with me sometimes. Like I don't like typing on the phone because it's already hard enough to text. I'm
Yeah.
terrible at it. I got sausage thumbs,
Yeah,
so
it is harder for the people with the
typing
bigger
is
fingers.
challenging.
Mhm.
So yeah, it's just well, and it's funny because at the moment, my kids are little, which I think is part of where a lot of the challenge comes from because they delight in ruining reading for me. Like if I try to read, if they see me read, they're like, "Oh, it's time to mess with dad."
Yeah, I
So
honestly I can't
same
remember
with
the
like
last.
writing. If you're trying to do the writing, it's gonna go. It ain't going nowhere. I had this theory this recently. Like, you know what? There's about like a 30-minute window when my daughter's getting ready for school after I like do dishes and get stuff set, and I'm just waiting on her to get ready. I can write then. That doesn't really work either.
Yeah, because it takes you like a good chunk of time to get your headspace in it, and then once you're there, it gets taken away at that point.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and it's
Yeah.
instantly
I
pulled out.
totally
Like,
get that because I take
yeah,
my daughter too.
yeah,
At that point, I just were like, okay, I'm just gonna rest
right,
because I don't get that either.
right.
Mhm.
So it's crazy, man. Like I know everybody's in the same boat, and I know there's no real answer, but some uh like I was reading Anthony Johnson did put out a book. It's essentially like a help book. It's not even about writing. It's essentially a system he developed to juggle all the deadlines and never miss and never turn anything in late. And he's like writing novels and books and video games. Like this is how I write all these different projects. And so I was reading through that, and it was super helpful. And that's part of why I ended up starting. Like, all right, let me just get up before everybody else and start writing. He's got other like systems with the way he sets up his desk, but
Mhm.
like I don't know if I'm going that far, but let me do this part and expand from there. And it was super helpful and productive. But again, life changed. And it's like, hey, we're not going to be up at 3 o'clock now.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing too about it, kids get older and they kind of learn to eventually, like when you can be like, hey, listen, I'm working, daddy's this, like, when your son's, not in the office or whatever in the morning or whatever, eventually you'll get to be able to like, okay, you have a set, this is when you're going to be. Like with my daughter, we set especially on the weekends,
Hmm.
because for whatever reason, she'll wake up at the butt crack of dawn on a weekend. But if it's a weekday, I'm going in there and waking her butt up, right? But yet, on a weekend when I want to sleep in, like, so what my wife and I did is we set like, listen, here's your clock. When it says 8:00, you can come out of your room. Until then, you can, if you're up, you can play with your toys, do whatever you want. Just don't wake the dog up, because that means I got to get up and take the dog out. Um, so like at a
Yep.
certain age, they kind of like acknowledge when you are able to set those boundaries. So it will change back again eventually. But so let's kind of what we're just kind of worried about now, right? So um, is your daughter? I'm assuming your son's too young, but does your daughter do extracurricular activities at any time?
She's got some right now. She's got one after school club, and we're exploring what to do beyond that. Like right now, it's this one event at school that she does. It's Tuesdays here, uh, but I want to get her into we want to get her into something. We're just really trying to figure out the timing and what and when. Like,
Yeah.
like, hey, you have an input in this, but we're not going to wait for you to pick because you'll never pick.
Right.
So
Yeah, so that's kind of like, like with my boys, I did the same thing my parents did for me. Started off with soccer and baseball, and see what they stuck with. My oldest stuck with baseball for a long time. My youngest son was like too much ADD or whatever. Like it didn't soccer bored him, baseball bored him, so we put him into dance. That got his energy out. He stuck with it for a very long time. Now he kind of wishes that he would have done more sports because now he plays football, basketball, and track. But like had he been able to focus earlier. And then with my daughter, we put her in swimming and dance and stuff like that. And every time I go to one of these things, when they're younger, you kind of have to sit there. You can't just drop them off and go.
Right.
The older they get, you can, right? But for the first several years, you got to sit there. So while you're stuck there, that's always a good time, to be able to write or to do something. If you have like an iPad or whatever, you just sketch, draw, color, whatever. I always have like a notebook with me whenever I'm sitting stuck at one of these events while they're there. Just that's kind of like for me the writing time till I just kind of like help get like the idea that is popping in my head scripted a little bit so then I can take it and put it into this on my computer later. Other than that, the getting up early, like you said, it doesn't work right now, but that's something to, again, once you get that reestablished. Evening times, and I'm sure you're taking advantage of the evening as much as possible.
It's usually it's been with the projects I've been doing for coloring. So I've got a 19-month-old son and a 7-year-old daughter. So, and he stays home with me because I work from home, so it's just easy that way. And so we go through a rhythm. We drop her at school, come home, and I make my breakfast and give him like second breakfast, and then he'll nap, and I'll work through his nap, which will be about 2 to 2.5 hours. And then we'll be up for about 2.5, 3 hours, and he'll go down for another nap. Whether or not he sleeps is the question, but he'll stay down for about 2 hours. The older
he gets, the less napping he'll have.
Well, and he fights it. He's like, I thought my daughter was stubborn, but she's nothing compared to him. So that's a treat. And so I'll work in his second nap, and then it's time. We'll go get my daughter up, and then once they go to bed, I'm usually back working again, just because the deadline is, the project has been challenging enough that it's just kind of like work. And I finally finished that deadline and moved that project off the plate. So it's been like Sky Sharks. I just finished the work on the book like last week. So as soon as the campaign's done, that'll go to the printer, and I'm working on Metal Shade with Isaac Bell right now, and I'm trying to get that done hopefully next week. I've got a few pages left, but that's going really good. And I'm hoping I can get that finished by the end of next week. And then we got another project after that. And once that's done, going back into my next book will be Sasquatch again. Try and get that launched this summer, barring whatever other freelance comes along. So because it's, as much as I love putting out my comics, the freelance stuff is still kind of,
the bill.
Yeah, car payments and repairs and all kinds of fun things, the extracurricular school and clothes. They don't stop growing.
Children, they don't need clothes.
That boy can eat. Oh my goodness, he can out eat my daughter at 7 years old, like when he wants to. It's like, bro, where'd it go? How did you do that?
Yeah, boys will eat you out of house and home.
Yeah,
especially when they get bigger than you.
Oh, it's all right, man. As much as he eats now, I'm like, bro, we're gonna have to like start you cutting grass or something like when you're 5, because I don't know how we're gonna pay for you at this rate.
That's
but he's good. He's a trip. We have fun.
Yeah, I miss my boys at that age. Oh, I miss my daughter at that age too, the youngins. Don't get me wrong, like it's nice that they're all kind of independent at this point, but there's that certain age, like around like 2, 3,
Yeah.
that like you're the funnest, and I kind of miss that a little bit. I don't miss the diapers, that's for sure, but
No, no, but yeah, no. Everybody kept talking about terrible twos when my daughter's around. I was like, bro, my girl just became amazing, and we had so much fun. It was like when she turned 4, that was like before she turned into a snot for a little while.
yeah,
2 and 3,
I felt the same exact thing. I felt like with my oldest, my boy, like he was perfect until he turned 4, and then he was a little shit
yeah,
for a while, and then like still my most well behaved out of the 3 of them. Don't get me wrong, but there was that like and I think too that that was around the time that my ex and I separated, and then I was dating. Then I found my current wife, so that was a change for him.
yeah,
Yeah. No, yeah, it's like I said, especially when you're trying to get the thing. I know you like trying to get the big chunks. It feels more satisfying, but I also feel like the low hanging fruit might also kind of help. Like when there's something that you can get done in that very little bit of time that you can, and it all kind of like builds up. So, and it also like, this is something that I've learned too. Like when I write lists, like I'll have like the big projects and then these little ones, kind of like ancillary stuff that's just kind of dangling there. And if I can get those off my list, even though they're not my main focus, it kind
right.
of gives me that dopamine hit of like, oh, I accomplished something. Let's do some more.
Well, and I'm feeling exactly what you're laying down. That's also where I'll get sidetracked because most of the low hanging fruit is, oh, let me start figuring out social media posts or this and that. And I'm like, yeah, that's done. But honestly, I'm so bad at it. I don't know that I get anything out of it. It's like I'd rather go do this over here. And so I actually took a break from social media because it was depressing me. I was like, you know what? I was doing a lot better headspace before I was like constantly on. Let me get back away from that, and it freed up time. So I started becoming more productive, and it was right about the same time my son started cooperating with the schedule. So I was like, oh, dude, now I'm actually like doing things. Okay, great, but there's just a lot.
Well, and that's just it. Like with social media too, like certain things kind of like are sort of important, but like you said, being productive and getting stuff done in the end is the most important thing.
Yeah.
So like when it comes to social media, if you have time to put out a quick, whatever, you have a bunch of graphics probably in the bucket that you could even just pull from. And past, like for me, like I have like a Trello board that I work with, and then I also like have Nita Lanning help me. But like I have past boards that I just recycle, just change the like Nightwolf number 11 just went out. All I do is change the number and then the date. You know what I mean? Like I just reuse shit.
Yeah.
To say that saves me time. And so that's kind of like one of those things. It's nice. It's like, okay, now that's done real quick and I can move along.
Right.
But in the same sense, like, yeah, I get like, letting certain things on the website slide or the home, in the social media, because the main thing is the book itself, getting that going, as long, if you have like a finished product that helps sell more, and you could even just say, hey, the book is done, go here, like that like sometimes it just takes that much. You don't have to be like the marketing guru. You just have to be like a quick boom. You put something out there, heck, even like it's something too that could help you as far as like keeping your socials like relevant, even when you're not like promoting a Kickstarter, is just like taking, if you're having a beer and you're like, oh, I really like this beer, take a picture, be like, I'm relaxing with a beer for once or whatever. Like me, I'll occasionally like post like something that I like, a meat or something that I found and with a steak that I just cooked, just to kind of keep, and people talk more about that than they do the comics, so it kind of helps.
Mind-blowing to me.
What's that?
That's mind blowing to me.
Right? Exactly. That's what I mean. Like people, they're like, because it's something I think that more people can relate to. Is that they're like, oh, I love having a drink while I'm cooking steak, or something just simple that they can relate to. But it also helps feed your algorithm that you don't have to do anything except for take a picture quick, like one sentence, boom, done. You know what I mean? Like that simple, that quick, and actually very helpful.
Nice.
And then later, when you're ready, boom, one of your first couple posts for your thing is like out there, and so you're kind of still up at the top of the algorithm. And then eventually, the more you post about the campaign, the less you'll be in the algorithm.
Yeah. No, because that's an interesting strategy, because I reuse some, but I also just hate beating a dead horse like over and over. So I was like, man, I don't have good nothing to say, so like I'm out.
But that's also, like I said, it's unfortunately the way the algorithms work is you have to constantly be doing something, one post a day or every other day, some kind of a cadence that keeps you kind of floating and relevant. And my wife's always like, why do you always share this stupid shit? And I'm like, because it helps with the algorithm. I mean, I don't like doing it, but I do it, and Tom knows, he puts up stuff all the time, that's relevant to his comic books, but it's stuff that people will talk about. He talks about movies, really isn't related to his book, but people talk about it and they interact with his posts. He says he doesn't like a movie, people go and yell at him, and he's like, yes, feed me.
Exactly, yeah. He does have terrible taste, though. Only joking. He's like half right half the time.
Yeah. I mean, he does make valid points about a lot of things. I mean,
once you start picking them apart, they start to come apart quite easily.
Well, I think most things do once you pull the seam.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying that, so on Friday we're gonna really get into it. I'll get into it on the other show
with him and Jay.
Him and Jay,
But I mean, those are a few things. Lately, I know like you're supposed to do like the email thing every other week or whatever. I've kind of let that slide a little bit, just for the fact that I've told my email audience, I'm busy, I'm coming back whenever there's books. I mean, they come, if they're already fans, they're gonna come back, right? Just let them know when you're going live. I think it's for new people, having like that welcome series is always nice.
Yeah. But
once you have that done, as long as you make it somewhat evergreen, you don't have to go back and revisit it. It just kind of recycles itself.
And I'm the opposite. I'll spend more energy and time trying to do like the email and like writing the newsletters than I will the social media. And I can't even tell you why.
You know what's funny about that is that one newsletter that you spent all that time writing, you can break that up into several posts after the fact, and then you can redirect them back to your email. Like that's something you could do during the the non-Kickstarter launches. And again, you've already written it. All you got to do is copy and paste the chunks that are relevant, really. And I'm sure you have images in your email.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's, again, recycle. Use what you have. You don't have to come up with new stuff.
Right. Yeah. No, that's see, this is why it's a good topic, because it's like, just different ideas. And I do try to reuse as much as I can, because the most of what I can just is the lack of time. So even just getting other ideas like this is beneficial.
Yeah, that's the other thing is getting them to open and engage. So I mean, if you're already spending that time in it, you're just use what you're already good at. Take those snippets, put them out there.
Well, who knows if I'm good at it?
Well, I mean, if you got people opening and reading,
I didn't say I was good, bro. I just this is where I put the energy.
Well, like I said, you have content and you have two series that you've actively done on Kickstarter.
Mm.
So you have 2 series that you can actively reuse content, and with Savage Sasquatch, like that to me, like I think was one of your, you had a really good series with that, and people loved it. It was unique, a unique take on Sasquatch, and then it's something I think people, when it comes back, will definitely jump on board with.
It's one of those things where I knew I was building good momentum with it, and there was an active one, both conscious and unconscious decision to step back from it, just because I knew it was going to take time to get more made. So that was part of why I wanted to do Sky Sharks, because it was done, and that was initially just going to be like, bro, I'm gonna knock this out in 3 issues, be released all 3 within like 18 months, and just be out. And like as soon as I finished the first issue, just everything went topsy-turvy. Like, that's not what you're doing. It's like, okay, that's fine, and so it stretched the release schedule quite a bit. And I mean, I literally had 2 other series in works that I was going to be releasing in conjunction with Sky Sharks, brand new. And so one of them, every time I was launching into production, like I was like 2-3 days away from having the artist start drawing the script. I was like, yeah, I'm just waiting for this check to clear. That way I know I have the money and I can get him going. And it's like, oh, hey, refrigerator died.
Yeah.
It's like, don't start drawing yet.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so that one hasn't been drawn. One of the other series is another 3-issue mini series. The first issue has been drawn, and that one, if life goes correct this year, will hopefully come out at the end of this year, and I'll launch that number 1 this at the end, if not early next year at the latest. But trying to get a bunch of stuff out and done while continuing Sasquatch. That's finally starting to move a bit better, because it had good progress and then just completely stalled out, and then we started moving again and then stalled out again, and now we seem to have a pretty good rhythm that should take us through another couple issues at least, and then we'll revisit from there. But I mean, it's looking great. I can't wait to bring it back and get it out. But I mean, it was gaining really good momentum. And like, Rob, you and I were like neck and neck. Like, we kept releasing like right at the same time.
Yeah.
And we were, and I know your last campaign just performed fantastically. I'm like, man, I wonder if I was still doing Sasquatch issue 12 or whatever it was that would line up with what your last issue. I was like, wonder where it would be right now.
You know what though? It kind of so in 23, it was like this. It came down, plateaued a little bit, and then this last one just kind of came back up. So I think it just, a lot of it too depends on the economy at the time,
right?
But I really do think though, like once you get another issue of Sasquatch out, it'll really people are gonna be like, yeah. So you're gonna be like. And isn't Isaac taking over the illustration, if I'm not mistaken?
Issue 7 is actually a few short stories. It's almost an anthology issue, because I had some stuff, some extra stories for the collected edition that didn't hit the stretch goal. Bro, I've literally got pages done. It's not a full issue's worth, but it wouldn't take that much time, that much more effort to get some extra stories done. And I had people like, yeah, I want to do something. I want to do like, great, man, this would be a really cool mix mash of stuff. And that partly worked. Like, most of everybody that like, I'm gonna do this, is like, great, let me know, like, let's do that. And then they just fell off the face of the earth. Okay, so issue 7's production ended up become a whole lot longer than it's supposed to. And it's like, you know what, bro, like, I'll finish it. I'd say I figured it out. And then Isaac and I were talking about the latest metal shade, and he's like, we made a mutually beneficial deal, and so he's drawing kind of the last short story to fill out the rest of issue 7.
Nice.
And then issue 8 has like 8 or 9 pages left to be drawn. It's a 30-page issue. It's it's being drawn by Craig Babiar, who did all the B covers from Volume 1. So he did, and bro, the pages are mind blowing. Like he is.
Yeah. I remember the art from the covers. He did a great job.
Yeah, and this issue has been issue 8. He drew one of the short stories as well in issue 7, but issue 8, it's all him, and he's just doing amazing work. And I did not make this issue easy for him. There is a lot of design, a lot of stuff.
Not your job.
And so I got to turn around and color it too. So it's like, it's really great to write it, but then when I got to help do the art, it's like, it's one of those where he's crushing it. It's like, man, I just can't wait for people to have it. Like, I want to get stuff done so bad just to put that one issue in people's hands. And I'm trying to finish off the script for issue 9 so he can roll right into that. Issue 9 is actually co-written by my editor, because he gave me this really good idea. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna write that. That's great. And it's like, wait, why am I gonna write this? Because he and I co-wrote a series several years ago. Like this is your idea. Like, start us off, man. Start us up. You write this, and we'll do it. We'll tag team it like we did the previous series, and that was a lot of fun and worked really well for both of us. And so he's done his part on 9. I need to go through and do my part and finish that off, and so Craig can roll right into that. And so between Sasquatch 7, hopefully by the time Sasquatch 7 launches on Kickstarter, 8 will be drawn.
Nice.
And then 9 should be in production, but I'll also be launching my other sci-fi horror book that I'm doing, miniseries, later this year, hopefully, or beginning of next at the latest, and just kind of bring that in and just trying to get back to having stuff come out. But bills will dictate more than anything, I think.
I mean, that definitely is a big deterrent.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, as long as I can, if we can get momentum going up, we'll it can help with all that, and I can make more books more often. That's the goal. It's just like, keep the momentum up, but when you get derailed, it's like it's been several years now. Like, was it like 4 years since the last new issue of Sasquatch came out? Like, I had the trade, but it's been like 4 years since the last new issue, and it's just kind of like, man, where's the momentum? How's the momentum going to go? Bringing it back. Like, I'm hoping it's not square one.
I really don't think it will be. I mean, you have an audience already, especially on Kickstarter, for that book particularly, and you can always use backer kit launch to kind of collect that all up. And then there's the individual campaigns, I mean, that you can kind of sprinkle throughout. Just as long as you're kind of I think if you properly lead up to it, though, share, some sneak peeks well enough to get people to go to your pre-launch page.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be the strategy you need to really kind of hit. I
like the new pre-launch on Kickstarter where you can actually give more info and some graphics. I think that's a significant upgrade that really helps in that.
Definitely. So I think the more you can build up your pre-launch audience, the more, because really those are the ones that convert more than the ones who are following after the campaign's launched. So that, because you kind of can see the two different numbers now, they separate that. So that's something that's kind of nice to see. But yeah, I mean, I think your audience specifically, because you kind of built them on the Sasquatch, as opposed to your new series that's not really new, but it's new on Kickstarter.
Right. It's new to them, but yeah, it's and that's one thing I've been trying to.
Different audience too. I mean, essentially, so that was a start over for you.
Yeah, yes and no, because there's a lot of similarity in tone within and storytelling in it, just due to Sky Sharks. I guess for clarification, that was my very first creator-owned story I did. where I created it wholesale, and then Fred became the artist on that because it was going to be somebody else, and then we kind of swapped roles, and Fred came in, and Fred just kind of took me masterclass, and it was just like incredibly eye opening and just super informative. And it's like, bro, you have everything in that book just kind of taught me so much about making comics just by making it, as opposed to like theory or reading about it. It's like, okay, great. And like, oh, these are, and okay, wow, just yeah, reasons for things. Okay, now these make sense. Like you've explained it, and it's kind of like trying to sell it to the Sasquatch fan base, because like, I didn't have a fan base when we did it. It's just kind of, so I was like, all right, everything you like about Sasquatch, well, I learned it over here. If you like Sasquatch, you're gonna like this because this is where I learned it.
Right. So let's show everybody. Do you want me to play this video?
If you want.
Yeah.
It's done.
Everyone at West, I'm so excited to be back for the final issue of Sky Shark Remastered here on Kickstarter. We successfully launched and delivered the first 2 issues together, and now we're here to finish the mission. In this final chapter, the stakes couldn't be higher. Dr. Castle's doomsday weapon is live, and the world is hanging by a thread. The Sky Sharks must infiltrate the Steel Fortress of War Island for one last chance. It all comes down to a final face-off with a former friend. Is it redemption or doom? You'll have to read to find out. This is the definitive version of the story. Like the first 2 issues, this is more than 40 pages of diesel punk adventures, fully remastered and recolored. And because I've done this before, the process is dialed in, the book is nearly complete, and the rewards are set, and I'm ready to get this final issue into your hands. Thank you for supporting this journey from the beginning. Let's finish the series strong, hit that pledge button, and let's get the Sky Sharks in the air one last time.
Probably my shortest video to date.
Whatever.
I mean, it works. It's effective. It's, like it doesn't have to be long. That's the thing. Like I think a lot of people anymore are like, I'm not doing a video, but like it doesn't really have to be that long. It just has to be something,
I try to usually hit around like 2 minutes, and I think that one's clocked in at like 1:10.
Perfect.
If you go, you can look at the stats too, and it's just like how many video playthroughs and how many people finish it is just it's staggeringly low.
Yeah.
Like,
when I was doing
I keep it short.
Well, I wonder if it's the credits though. If they stop before because once it gets to the credits, they're like, I'm not reading that.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. I just threw that for grins on myself. For myself, like, it's a movie.
I mean, well, that's just it. Even JD stopped.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was like, we're not gonna sit through the credits.
Yeah. So that's that's it right there. That's what.
Right. Yeah, you gotta keep on the 60 seconds is what you should try to do. That's always been the general rule, because people don't like watching long clips,
especially these days with TikToks and all that.
Yeah, it's just definitely the thing you're fighting against.
I don't do any of that.
I don't either. My wife doesn't. She'll send me texts of like TikToks, and she's like, did you watch my video? I'm like, no.
No.
I think it's really starting to piss her off too.
Wow. All right, so Wes, walk us through this. What are we looking at?
All right. Well, so I try to go through and explain a little bit of history, like I walked through with you guys. How it was my first creator owned, and just it came out monthly, so we had minutes to do each issue. So now it's been unavailable for quite some time, just selling out and low print runs, and so it's kind of like it's done. I know it can look better, and the thought process is, I'm not reinventing the wheel when it comes to reworking the pages. I'm trying to keep what's there, but just push it a bit further, because the original job wasn't bad. It's just hey, we didn't have any time. And so
Right.
it's going through making them look better. But essentially, the story is about I think the A team in airplanes. So
Mhm.
they're hired mercenaries. They go around and do jobs. They're generally good guys. They don't try to take on work that would be bad, unscrupulous. They're altruistic. They're white hats,
Mhm.
and they older guys were in World War I. World War II hasn't happened in this world, just kind of alternate history. And so older guys, they've seen some things. They've got young crew member Jason Mars, who's kind of the hothead, hotshot, uh, who's in line to kind of take over the crew one day, but causes lots of problems. And he the first job that we open the book on is goes off fine, but he has a problem with the guy who hired the job, which comes back and bites him in the butt. And we get to have our doomsday weapons and mad scientists and femme fatales and all kinds of stuff. My love letter to the Rocketeer and Black Hawk and Sky Captain in the World of Tomorrow. And just back in the day, there weren't any books like this on the shelf. Rocketeer had been out of print forever. IDW was not doing it. There weren't Dynamite wasn't putting out their pulp heroes like the Spider or the Shadow or any of that stuff. Like nothing was out. And it's like, man, that stuff's great. I enjoyed it when what little I would ever find of it, delving into that. It's like I want to do more of that. And so that's how this came about. We put it together and like it wasn't successful, but it wasn't a complete catastrophe. But it was low print run, and I had taken over the writing duties on a series before this, I Hunt Monsters. So I'd written a few comics before we ever launched this, and yeah, the guys at AP just kind of let me take my idea and run with it. And then Fred came on and took me to school, which was a lot of fun and eye opening, and that was one thing I really like going back because Fred's a very unique artist and one of the single most creative dudes I've ever met, and I feel like I never quite did him justice coloring his work in the past. Like it never just was quite there. So it's been a lot of fun coming back to these pages and revisiting them, and like the covers. I've been doing remastered of some of the covers from the original series where like the first issue I had Fred actually colored the first issue after because we had to get it done for solicitation. So I didn't even have line art for that cover, and it's my favorite cover of the whole run. I was like, man, that thing's awesome, but I want to redo it, and the only way I could redo it is I worked with an inker and kind of we in tandem rebuilt it and re-inked it together, and so we had fresh lines for the cover. It's like I'm gonna color this like all new, and I was super happy with the way it came out. Like I'm doing this for all of them, and so each issue issue 2 was inked by somebody different. Jimmy Reyes, who's been doing a lot of work with Dave Finch recently, and has a book I forgot what it's called, Dragon something. He was funding on Indiegogo, and heck of an inker and heck of an artist, and we worked together. I know him. He's local to me, and so we chatted, and he's like, "Yeah, I'll ink it." And he gave Fred kind of a real '90s vibe, like '90s image vibe, which I was like, dude, that's really cool. Like Fred does not look like this, but it still totally looked like him. So that was really cool seeing that effect. And
Right.
then this issue 3 cover, I actually inked it. I was like, let me do it because I didn't know who else to do it, and I've been inking more lately, just trying to build that skill set, just trying to do different things. And so I was like, let me do it. And that was actually the first time I've inked in Clip Studio because I've been doing a lot of traditional inking. Like, let me try this. And using Jimmy Reyes's Clip Studio inking set that he developed, which was really cool. I liked it quite a bit, and it was a lot of fun. I want to do more of that. And again, that comes back to time because it's not just doing the stuff. I do try to draw. I do try to do things like that. Try to ink and just expand the knowledge base and the skills where I can. But if I'm doing one of those, I'm not doing something else. So it's always like, where do you pick and choose what to do? But it's fun, man. I hadn't read this series in so long, basically since it came out. I was kind of cringing at the thought of reading it again because I was like, I don't know if this is going to be a good idea. When I read it, I'm like, dude, this is so much fun. Like, I don't know what I was worried about. It's like, I credit Fred more than myself. I give Fred all the props to that. But no, man, it's been a lot of fun working on this, and it's like, man, you kind of like, what would I do if I could do more? What would come after that? Kind of chasing that thread and curious where it go, but at the same time, I don't want to do any without Fred because especially coming back and rereading it and going through, I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of Fred in here. It's I can't say I created it because it's full on co-creation, like, because he had a lot of input, and he's just the artist. And I'm like, bro, you were so more than that. You've just
Nice.
But yeah.
Oh, that's cool. So I mean,
I like it. Good times.
Yeah, it looks good. So after this, you're going back to Sasquatch.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yes, sir.
you're the writer and colorist on that one, or are you doing the art?
Writing, coloring. I'm going back to lettering it. Is the lettering just I've had to move on, so I'm going to go back to lettering it. So haven't done that since issue 2. So that'll be fun. In issue 7's really fun because it's got a mix mash of artists in it. So a really good buddy of mine did that. It's the short story I really can't wait for everybody reading because it kind of unlocks more of Sasquatch's past and just it's fun. It's drawn by, his name's Montos. He's currently doing a lot of stuff from DC. We did a couple series way back in the day, some creator-owned stuff, and he's just exploded and doing all kinds of really cool work these days. And he's just like, yeah, I can do a short story. And so it's really cool seeing him do that stuff because he just gives it a whole different vibe. And it's really, really fun stuff. And then Greg Baviar has a short story that's the origin story of Trax. And Trax is one of the characters who just loves to pick fights. And so his origin story is really, really fun. And there's another story that touches on one of the characters that was at the end of Sasquatch. And that story is actually written by Vince Hernandez, who's the editor from Aspen Entertainment, but he's written like Karis Magic and several of the Fathom series and all kinds of stuff. And he wrote a really cool short that I like a lot. Kind of pitched him a real like 2-sentence thing and like, here's just kind of a rough vibe, go with God and let me see what you got. And he came back like, oh man, that's really cool. That's really cool. That's a lot of fun. And so I'm really excited for people to get into that. And then Isaac is jumping on doing a good kind of continuation for some of the side characters after issue 6, kind of advancing a little bit what's going to happen with them that we'll touch base in later issues. And I've got like 30-40 plus issues mapped out roughly already. So there's a lot to do. So it's past time to get back on it. And Craig is just drawing his butt off. I can't wait for anybody to see that. It's astonishing work. We go to cons, and if anybody comes and starts talking to me about Sasquatch, I'm like, oh, hey, check this out. I pull out the phone and start showing them a page or two from my messages, tech messages, like, oh, wow. I was like, yeah. And that's just, this big. Wait till you see it. So
Nice.
I'm pumped, man. I can't wait for that stuff to come, and I can't wait to get Sasquatch or not Sky Sharks done, because this is been a short job that's become a bigger job than I expected, but I'm really happy with the end results. I'm really happy with the issues that have come so far. I really want this last issue to come out to kind of bookend it all and get it around, because it feels like it became kind of a redheaded stepchild to me, because I just kind of like, Sasquatch, or I keep saying Sasquatch. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I've been up since like 4:30. So
It's understandable.
Yes.
Sky Sharks, like because it became unavailable, or I had like a box of issue 4 and I think a box of issue 3 or 5 or something like that, but that's all I had. It's just kind of like I can't sell, this like 100 copies that I pulled out of the warehouse at Man Art Press, because it's like issue 3 and issue 5 or issue 4 and 5 or something. So they're literally just giveaways at cons, and I gave them away for a good while, and it's kind of like after coming back and rereading and re-immersing myself in all of it, I'm like, man, those are really good books. People should have bought those.
Wah, wah.
I was like, it's all right. They probably wouldn't, because I didn't have issue 1, but now I got them all, so they better come get them, because this is good stuff.
All right, cool. Well, you still got 49 hours.
Yeah, I think once that 48 hits, I think you'll get that last 2-day boost. Definitely we'll get there.
It's been an interesting campaign, because usually, in my experience, I don't know how you guys are. I'm sure you're kind of saying, well, I know Rob is, but there's a good momentum upward for each campaign, as long as you deliver timely and stay communicating. And this issue started off, momentum. It had a pretty good boost over the last campaign issue. Like, oh yeah, I'm some pretty more backers, more numbers, more financial numbers. Like, we're doing good. Like, this will be an easy win. And then it just kind of cratered in the last week. It's like, oh wow. And then it dropped below the performance of the last issue, which is like, oh, that's kind of a first, where the next issue is going behind. So
that lately the dead zone starts earlier. It's like people come right at the beginning or right at the end. There's that, like, it literally is like, this is what it looks like when you're looking at those stats.
Well, I actually had obviously the first like 24 hours was key. The second, for the 48 hours was okay, and then the next like week and a half was decent. Like, it wasn't dead, but it was like, hey, I was getting 4
something
or 5.
steady.
Yeah, I was like, it wasn't $1,000, but like, yeah, I'm making good progress. Rock and roll. This is great. I am happy with this. Let's keep doing that. And then it just like, it'd be like a backer every like 23 hours, and it'd be like at the digital tier, and I'm like, I'm thankful, but it's like $8 isn't really moving my needle much in a week. And thank you for backing. I appreciate you so much. Please tell your friends. But it's also like, I got to get to that goal still. So it's trying to pull out all the stops where it's like, I wasn't that concerned. Like, we'll hit that, no problem. Now it's like, oh, I got to get back on it and try and start reaching out to where I can. And thankfully you guys are like, hey, you want to do another thing? And what was it? Not yesterday, Sunday, right? We did one Sunday, JD. We did one Sunday. That's great. And it's kind of shooting out, hitting you up, Rob, and like hitting back to Isaac, whoever's willing and or able, because I don't force anything on anybody. It's like, hey, if you're willing and able, great. If not, I try not to do it to random people. I try to do it with associations that there's a pretty good.
Yeah, it's a lot easier when you already have an established relationship. When it's like weird when you're like cold calling somebody you've never talked to.
Right. Well, and it's like Isaac. Isaac is doing he did the Kickstarter cover for issue 3. So it's like, yeah, hey man, like, throw an update out. That'd be awesome. He's like, yeah, I'll hit one up tomorrow. I'm like, perfect. That's great. Rob, we did the cross promo with the book. It's like, hey, if anybody read it, like, come on. Hopefully that'll happen. We'll see. And and just anybody and everybody. Like I've reached out to a couple others, and it's kind of we'll see if I hear back in time because I don't know what is happening. You know, life happens as for everybody, so it could be hear back, could not. Just no worries. But it's putting it out there, trying to do what we can, trying to beat the drum, reach out in old campaigns, and like, hey, this is going on. And
Yeah.
That's really funny though. It's really helpful because I've been trying to do the unique tags just to kind of see where stuff's coming from. It's like I use BackerKit launch, and that's super helpful. It's like, yeah, so everybody in my previous back campaigns, it's like they got it, like they're getting it, but you still go throw it in an update in one of the games. Like, hey, they come from one of those updates. I'm like, you already got the emails, but okay,
it's weird. It's like people just sometimes it's funny because like I'll get the people who like be like, look, dude, I've seen all the like I've seen it. I'll be ready. You know, if I'm going to do it, I'm going to come when I'm ready. Right. Then there are other people are like, oh, I never saw it. You know, you never know.
Right.
Like, you know, especially when it comes to like spam boxes and stuff. And that's, you know, why, unfortunately, and I've even told there was a gentleman that I told this time, like, unfortunately, not everybody has seen it. And if you're getting the launch emails, that means you haven't backed yet. So when you do back, you won't see it anymore.
Right.
So it's just like, why wait till the end then?
It ain't like you getting charged until the end. So it's like you can back on day one.
Exactly. I actually even had a gentleman, it still boggles my mind because they're like, oh, well, I'm waiting until I get paid. Or, I mean, I'm like, well, I don't know. I won't get paid until after this. So and so. I'm like, well, I am doing the BackerKit, you know, and you can, you know, even if you drop, BackerKit will still bug you. So you can fulfill your thing. And then just when I'm ready to charge, you know, the BackerKit stuff, June, you know, you'll have that much time to get ready.
Right.
Yeah. Sometimes what I have is I have backers who skip campaigns,
right,
and then they'll do the catch up, you know, like the third campaign or the fourth campaign, and I'll buy a bunch of stuff. So,
yeah. I mean, people do it in their own way. I mean, you know, it's not that they're not interested; it's just that maybe they can't do it at the time, and they'll get you next. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, a good buddy of mine, he recently told me like a Sunday or two ago. He's like, "Hey, I wanted to let you know, like your email is going into my spam account, like my junk folder." I'm like, okay, like, mark it as not spam. Like, I just wanted to know. I'm like, it happens. I mean, that's really going to happen when you don't open my emails because I knew he hadn't.
Yeah,
you don't open the emails. Those are going to go in there. I mean, after a while, I mean, I do the same thing. There's ones I've not opened that, like, why don't I ever see that anymore? It's like, oh, it's in the junk folder. That's
well, it's the same as the algorithm when it comes to like social media. If you click and react to a post, you're going to see more of
I got social media. I got the newsletter. That's why I post on the updates. Like, it ain't just one spot. I got it everywhere. So if you don't know, like, I don't know what I can do because
exactly.
everywhere I have info for.
Yeah, I mean, I think people when they get on your list, they assume that helps you, but what really helps you is them opening it and marking it as not spam. So for those of you out there in Facebook land or YouTube, if you're out there and you're on one of our lists, it helps more if you actually open. You don't even have to read it. It'd be great if you did, but when you open it, it actually helps.
Yeah.
It's made my newsletter list grow very slowly because I've gone back and cleaned it a few times. Like, bro, you've been signed up for like 3 years and never opened it. You're gone. Like I'm done.
That's just it. Yeah, the longer they sit on there and don't react to it, the more it hurts. So I mean,
and I try not to do that, especially when people are backing a campaign and like, I want to be on your newsletter. I was like, okay. I mean, obviously you're putting your money there. Like, I don't want to not have you a part of it, but when it gets to that point where it's like, bro, you have never opened that email, and then like every campaign, you're like, yeah, I want to be on it. Like, well, you are on it. You just have to open the email. But
yeah, I mean, the caveat there is that like if you are using BackerKit launch, they're going to get those emails too. Like I segment out my Kickstarter backers from my MailChimp when I'm going live because I don't want to double hit them. You know what I mean?
Oh, I'll double hit them just because you never know. I don't care. I try not to do it on the same day.
You will get it all.
Like, I try not to do it the same day. I do try to like spread it out, just
stagger it,
just for that. But Yeah, no, it's like because it's again, it's like, bro, like you're my good friend. You have supported me incredibly well. Thank you for telling me it's in the spam, but this is why it's in the spam.
Yeah.
But
If
hey,
you
here's all these
want to
other
keep it out of
avenues.
the spam, you actually have to interact with it. Thank you.
Right. So,
To all good
when you
friends
see
out
me on
there.
Facebook, it's like I don't ever see you on Facebook. That's because you never liked it. Like you read it, but you may not have liked it, and you don't ever see it again.
Click on the image.
Yes.
Right.
Write a comment once in a while.
Something. Interact with it. It doesn't take long. Just tap it with your finger.
Well, and I used to read a blog, I guess, for lack of a better word, from a frontman of a metal band, and he's like, our Facebook page has like 1 million something people following it. He's like, that's really cool, right, Chicken? Do you think we sell 1 million records? Like, there's apparently more than 1 million people that like us, but we don't sell 1 million records. We sell like 10,000, And it's just like, it's kind of eye opening. I'm like, man, social media, like what a mind screw. Like, oh look, Ma, I made it. I got 1 million followers, and you get interaction with like 0.5%.
Yeah, gone are the days of the nice organic interactions.
Yeah, it's wild, man. It's kind of eye opening. It's like I've been trying to figure out like Pixel and Google Analytics and all that. And like I don't know, it's like reading Chinese or something to me.
Yeah, Google Analytics got way too complicated, especially once they got the Google Tag Manager thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because before you just be able to drop in, a thing to your website, and then it was like telling you all this stuff about your website. But then all of a sudden you have to do all this extra complicated crap to do the same thing that you already been doing. So why did Google overcomplicate it? Oh, because they have too much money and time to do in employees that they need to keep going.
That's crazy, man. It's like I actively try to learn this stuff just to figure out how to do better, and that's a time suck because I don't.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. Like there's just so much now, like so many different things. Like I envy the creators of the 90s and earlier because there wasn't this much. They made the books and that was it, right? There was a couple of interviews here and there, but like they didn't have to deal with social media. They didn't have to deal with all these different things, silos, emails. Like we're like you had our like it's probably good that we have ADD because we're like, all right, I got to deal this.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're fractured. Everything is fractured. The attention is everywhere.
By design.
Yeah.
This isn't good.
For sure. Shit. All right, gentlemen. I mean, we ran the show for about 1 hour and 10 minutes. I think that's good. Right. So we did a pretty good stint there. Actually, let me pull something up real quick. Because like I told Rob earlier, I'm getting into the business. So this is Rod Espinosa's campaign where Daphne and I are running through ICN.
Oh, nice.
And this is Adventure Finders. So this is a web comic. It's been running for a few years. And he's had it over in Antarctic for a little while. They were running it. And this is the first compiled edition. So this is, I believe, the first 5 issues. It's going to run probably close to 220 pages. And we're probably going to launch probably in the next 3 weeks or so. And this is going to be pretty cool because Rod, like I said, he's out of the Philippines. So he's not able to do it himself. So, we'll be doing this for him. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So
bro, me and Rod, we used to hit the Mexican restaurant for lunch every day. Rod's my boy.
Yeah.
I know Rod forever.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Ask him when he's going to do Neotopia, man. That's what I want, the new printing of that.
Oh, okay.
That's like comic level elite masterclass right there. That book's amazing.
All right, cool. I mean, we'll see how this one goes. Maybe we'll get
honestly, I think it's going to do very well, especially, it's a well-known thing. It's a collected edition.
Mm-hmm.
I think this will probably be maybe not Tenchi Muyu levels, but it'll be like it'll do pretty well.
Yeah, the Tenchi Muyu. Got my hardcover.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. Because what's funny is those guys, we just did a signing with them, and they're talking about they still have a lot of people requesting it. So they're talking about reformatting and releasing it through bookstores and all kinds of stuff. So we'll see what happens. I'm like, just keep cutting me checks. It's okay. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, you do that. Give me the money.
Exactly. Just keep paying me. It's okay. I will support you every step of the way.
That's funny.
Oh, yeah. Cool dudes. Cool dudes. All right. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. I apologize for my lack of involvement. Like I said, my throat is starting to really bother me. But Wes, please let us know where they can find you in your work.
I'm on Facebook when I'm on social media, that and Instagram, mostly Instagram. The Sasquatch. Facebook is my name is the primary one, but I have one for Cosmic Root Studio, which is my imprint, and also Sasquatch. But yeah, Instagram is probably where I lurk the most, at the Sasquatch, and west-hartman.com is my website. I have books available there as well, both digital and print. And I've got the Kickstarter running right now for Sky Sharks issue 3, and includes all the issues to finish the whole story if you haven't read it. And it is concluding in just over 48 hours.
All right. Very nice. Everybody go check it out. Rob, where can we find you in your work, sir?
Yeah, as always, you can find me at Lone Wolf Comics on pretty much any social media platform. The ones that I'm most active on are Facebook, X, and Instagram. You can find me personally at Raw Multari at those same three. LoneWolfComics.com. You can go on there, learn about my titles, as well as buy back issues of said titles. And yeah, I got Snowpaw Volume 1 coming within the next month. I believe I'm aiming for an April 15th date. So go out there. It's snowpod.lonewolfcomics.com. That'll take you to the pre-launch page, and hit that follow.
All right, cool. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, DeviantArt. Right now, for I think another 38 hours or so with the Oswald Chronicles on Kickstarter. So that's still going, and then I don't know, another 2 or 3 weeks I'll be back. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. And just remember, everyone, go check out the show notes. In the show notes are the links to at least, usually it's the creators, but it's Wes, and probably my books. So go check them out. And just please click on those links, buy those books because they're awesome. And thank you so much, everyone. And just remember, read more indie comics, especially ours. Have a good night, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.